Hey there, this is your Avon lady, Chris Arnold, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to show you all of the different options that Avon has for concealers. We just introduced our new Magix Corrector concealer, so I wanted to show you the different options that we have, sort of, and how to choose what to use, like what the difference is between those, so you can know which one is going to be the best fit for what it is that you're wanting to correct. So we have three different options. The first one is actually our Magix Wand, which is a solid foundation stick, but also does work really well as a concealer. Works great as a highlighter, as a contour. It's really sort of a multi-purpose, everything all in one, but it does work really well as a concealer. Being in a solid, it is probably the driest of the three formulas. But it is a nice creamy formula, and you can just swipe it on. Or what I actually like to do, especially if I'm using it under my under eye area, because I don't necessarily want to drag this along the under eye area, is I like to get just a little bit on my finger and blend that in that way. So it blends really, really nice, has this nice demi-matte finish. I would say generally I use this one as a corrector, like after I've done my foundation, because of course there's two different, you can either do, there's the school of concealer and then foundation, and then there's the school of foundation and then concealer. I generally go with foundation and then concealer, but it just depends on what my concealer and foundation combination is that day. But typically, if I'm going to use the Magix Wand, that's going to be concealer that I'm going to do after my foundation, because it's going to be heavier than my foundation. And if I put like a liquid foundation over the top of it, it may not blend as well. But I can use this and blend over the top of a liquid foundation to cover up any areas that my foundation did not even out or correct the way that I'd like. Now, if I'm using a powder foundation, then I would use this first and do the powder over the top of this. So you can see kind of how that blends out there, and it really does just kind of they all really just disappear into the skin. But so this one is really easy to carry on the go. Mess-free formula, that's always good because, like I said, you can just kind of swipe it on and blend it in. And that's our Magix Wand. And again, you can use this also as a highlighter, concealer, and it is your all-over face foundation if you like. Another trick about that is sometimes I will use my Magix Wand as my foundation, but then I'll use a different shade as my concealer. It's like I have under my eyes is a bit lighter than my cheek area. So sometimes I might use one shade of the Magix Wand as my foundation and then use the next shade darker under the eyes just to balance that out. And then sometimes I will use one shade lighter just to bring a bit of brightness to that area. If I've got particularly dark circles that day, I'll use that lighter shade to bring some brightness to that area and help me look a little bit more awake. So it's very versatile, very easy to use. Next up, we have our Magix Corrector. Comes in a compact. It is a cream formula. So it is not as dry as the Magix Wand. You can use concealer brush or just use your finger there, and you can just blend that in. This one has a very much disappears into the skin, so it's like it's not there. So I wouldn't really use this one as much like I use the Magix Wand for color correcting, where I might do a lighter or a darker shade than my foundation. These ones are, the Magix Corrector has flexible shades, which means the shade is going to work with your skin tone to help give you the perfect shade. So it comes in 3 shades, but they're flexible shades, so they're going to work across many different skin tones. So it does have, just a very creamy, blendable feel, and like you can see, it really just disappears into the skin, but just blurs those imperfections and evens out the skin tone. So this one does have caffeine in it, so it brightens skin and helps reduce puffiness. So it really is quite nice for under eye circles, because if you've got puffiness, it's going to help reduce that puffiness a bit while it's covering any dark circles or shadows that the puffiness causes. It also has some marigold in it, which helps to calm and soothe skin. So if you're using it to cover blemishes or irritated areas, it will help to calm and soothe those areas as well. And lastly, we have our Cashmere Complexion, and this one is a liquid concealer. So it comes with this sponge tip applicator there, and I'll put a little bit of that on here. So this one is really good. Again, multi-purpose. They're all great options. It just kind of depends on which type of formula you like better. I would say this may be like a really good option for the under eye area specifically. I've only had it a few days, so I haven't had a chance to really experiment with it. But I did do one day where I wasn't wearing any other makeup, and I just put this under my eyes just to see how it would hold up in the under eye area, and it doesn't settle into the lines and wrinkles that I have around my eyes. But it did just kind of camouflage the look of the dark circles and the sunken in bags under my eyes without really looking like anything was there at all, which was kind of nice because I wasn't wearing any other makeup, so it didn't look like I had, whereas I really love this one and the blendability of it, but I can't use this one by itself. So this one, if I put it under my eyes, it definitely looks like I have like a white mask around my eyes from brightening up the under eyes. I have to have some foundation under that. So this one works really well if you want to use it under your liquid foundation because it does blend in, but then you can still blend your foundation over it and still have the concealing effects. So that is that's our concealer portfolio, if you will. So the Magix Wand again works especially well over the top of your liquid foundation, is also good for highlighting and contouring, and works really well under a powder foundation because it's a very dry formula. So works really well under a powder foundation. The Magix Corrector, if you are only wearing concealer and you're not going to wear foundation, definitely I would recommend this one. This one also I think you could do before or after foundation for correcting. So like if you know you're going to be correcting your under eye area, no matter what you do with your foundation, you can start with this and then blend your foundation over it. If you want to do your foundation first and then see what little areas are still showing through that you want to correct, this is good for that as well. And then the Cashmere Complexion, this one does also work well before or after foundation. It does blend beautifully if you go back after foundation, if it's a liquid foundation and not a creamy foundation. It blends very, very well if you go back after the foundation for that as well. So that is our concealer portfolio. Hope that helps you kind of make a decision what type will work best for you. And as always, I'm always happy to kind of talk through that with you and help you choose if you need. So always feel free to reach out. Hope you're all having a fabulous day, and I will see you again soon.